Good evening, everybody. MysterySchooler here. We made it to the Halloween special. I know I'm a few weeks early from Halloween, but that's because I got more presentations for Halloween coming this month. So stay tuned for those. How's everyone doing today? It's a beautiful day in Las Vegas, Nevada. I put a lot of work into this one, guys. Really hope you enjoy it. Welcome. Thank you for being here, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. Up first, we got the Shojo, the Japanese word for orangutan, but also the legendary creature. In a tale involving Shojo and white sake, there was a gravely sick man whose dying wish was to drink sake. His son searched for it near Mount Fuji and came across the red Shojo, who were having a drinking party on the beach. So see, guys, I thought it was interesting how Sasquatchy this thing looks. It's supposed to be intelligent, and we get mixed results with Sasquatch being from an ethereal being and a wild animal, intelligent, non-intelligent, all kinds of different accounts. This is one of those where they're regarded as spirits, but they're physically there. They speak. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. Because when I look at this thing, I'm thinking Squatch big time. His son searched for the sake. Oh, I'm sorry. The Shojo gave him some sake after listening to his plea. Since the sake revived the dying father, the son went back to the spirit to get more sake each day for 5 days. A greedy neighbor who also wanted the sake became sick after drinking it. He forced the son to take him to the Shojo to get good sake. The Shojo explained that as his heart was not pure, the sacred sake would not have life-restoring benefits, but instead had poisoned the neighbor. The neighbor repented, and the Shojo gave him some medicine to cure him. The father and the neighbor brewed white sake together. I don't know why about you guys, but when I hear this story, it reminds me of the nature of alcohol itself. Very similar to a psychedelic, where you can have a good trip or a bad trip, or you could be a sad drunk or a happy drunk, depending on how you go in. You see the neighbor who drank the same sake with bad intent, it was poison to him. That's how I look at that story when I hear it. In cryptozoology, the Shojo is often referred to as Zingzing and is believed to be a mainland orangutan. Bernard Huelmans lists this as an entry in his annotated checklist of apparently unknown animals with which cryptozoology is concerned. Yeah, what do you guys think? We got people saying it's an orangutan. We got people saying they talk. There's drawings of them naked. There's drawings of them in clothes. Which is it exactly? Because I look to the left, that thing looks Sasquatchy to me. Maybe that's the missing link they're looking for. I wouldn't hold my breath, but several plants and animals have Shojo in their names for their bright reddish-orange color. Examples include several Japanese maple trees, one of them named Shojo no Mai, or dancing red-faced monkey, and another named Shojo no Mura, or beautiful red-faced monkey. Certain bright reddish-orange dragonflies are named Shojo Tombo, meaning the red-faced dragonfly. Yeah, so it seems like in language it went on to just the description of the orangish fur and hair was used to describe other things, I guess. Yeah, the depiction on the bottom right there looks super humanoid. The Kyogen-influenced no-play Shojo Midari features a Shojo buying sake, getting drunk and dancing ecstatically, then rewarding the sake seller by making his sake vat perpetually refill itself. Oh. The Shojo from the play have been made into wooden dolls, Nara Ningyo. They are one of the most common wooden dolls derived from no plays. Oh, okay. In Hayao Miyazaki's animated film Princess Mononoke, I'm sorry, I've seen that movie. Talking ape-like creatures struggling to protect the forest from human destruction by planting trees are identified as shoujo. Oh, okay. The Japanese artist Kawanabe Kiyosai, who was also known for his heavy drinking and eccentric behavior, humorously referred to himself as a shoujo. Oh, okay. So that guy gets drunk and thinks he's a monkey person. Okay, that's cool. So the etymology of spirit may refer to animating force, the non-corporeal essence of a being or entity, the mind, soul, volition, ghost. The volition one's interesting. More alcohol and spirit references. The soul or spirit of a deceased person or animal that can appear to the living. A mood, usually in reference to a good mood or optimism, high spirits. Enthusiasm, spirituality, pertaining to the soul or spirit. Enthusiasm, okay. Volatile liquids, primarily ethanol. Spirits, liquor, or distilled beverage or tincture. An alcoholic solution of a volatile drug. By extension, other volatile, especially flammable liquids, such as petroleum spirits. Yeah, what do you guys think? There's a reason they call those alcohol spirits, huh? Up next, we got the Kappa. A Kappa, also known as Kawataro, or River Boy, or Horse Polar, or River Tiger, or Water Tiger, is an amphibious yokai demon, or imp, found in traditional Japanese folklore. They are typically depicted as green, human-like beings with webbed hands and feet, and a turtle-like carapace on their back. A depression on its head called its dish, Sara, retains water, and if this is damaged or its liquid is lost, either through spilling or drying up, the Kappa is severely weakened. The Kappa are known to favor cucumbers and love to engage in sumo wrestling. Japanese folklore, no further explanation required. I guess it's not too crazy in the mythology world. They are often accused of assaulting humans in water and removing a mythical organ called the shirkodama from the victim's anus. There's this guy I hang out with sometimes in chat. His name's Kappalicious. I think I'm kind of doing a live decoding of his username here because Kappalicious, so what Kappas eat, okay? Kappas eat shirokadoma from their victim's anus. So that guy's username is like anus eater or something. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask him about that. You guys see this sign in the top right corner? It's a... I read it. It's something to the effect in English, don't swim here, you can drown. But you see they got a little picture of a Kappa pulling a kid down. This symbol has gone on in Japanese culture and stuff as a drowning symbol. The Kappa, it's still around today, just for that purpose. As water monsters, Kappa have often been blamed for drownings and are often said to try to lure people into water and pull them in with their great skill at wrestling. They are sometimes said to take their victims for the purpose of drinking their blood, eating their livers, or gaining power by taking their shirkodama, the mythical ball said to contain the soul. Okay, it's good to know. Maybe it's just your reproductive organs, huh, at this point, or just, I don't know. If I was going to think of something in your body that contains a soul, it would probably be those. It's around that area, too. Anyways, it was believed that there were a few means of escaping if one was confronted with a kappa. Kappa are obsessed with politeness. So if a person makes a deep bow, it will return the gesture. This results in the kappa spilling the water held in its dish, its sara, on its head, rendering it unable to leave the bowing position until the plate is refilled with water from the river in which it lives. If a person refills it, the kappa will serve that person for all eternity. Oh, so there you go, guys. I mean, that's what happened to him. Seems kind of strange they're obsessed with politeness. They look like just like wild feral animals to me, but they're supposed to be pretty intelligent. They can wrestle, all kinds of stuff. A very specific diet. A similar weakness of the kappa involves its arms, which can easily be pulled from its body. If an arm is detached, the kappa will perform favors or share knowledge in exchange for its return. Yeah, they sound silly, but these things are pretty scary if you ask me. If you're just walking along the river and you see this scene on the left here, I mean, it's just casually eating people and stuff. So they're shapeshifters. They're monkey, tiger. I don't see the tiger. Does anybody see tiger on this thing? Wow. The heck? Oh, look, its name's Kawaso, meaning otter. You know, that kind of reminds me of Otter Man, how he's a shapeshifter as well. Oh, these things are shapeshifters. I wonder if this is the same type of, if this is the same thing, if this is the same yokai or whatever, the same creature they're seeing around the world. I don't know. Because I don't see otter on this thing either. It looks like a turtle bird or something. Turtle bird person. Another method of defeat involves shogi, which is like chess, or sumo wrestling. A kappa sometimes challenges a human to wrestle or engage in other tests of skill. This tendency is easily used to encourage the kappa to spill the water on its head. One example of this method is in a folktale of a farmer who promises his daughter's hand in marriage to a kappa in return for the creature irrigating his land. The farmer's daughter challenges the kappa to submerge several gourds in water. When the kappa fails in its task, it retreats, saving the farmer's daughter from the marriage. Kappa have also been driven away by their aversion to iron, sesame, or ginger. Ginger. That adds up with other mythological creatures. It does have a strong smell. If your sense of smell is strong, yeah, I can see why ginger might freak you out. Kappa are not entirely antagonistic to human beings. Once befriended, Kappa may perform any number of tasks for human beings, such as helping farmers irrigate their land. Sometimes they bring fish, which is regarded as a mark of good fortune for the family that receives it. They are also highly knowledgeable about medicine, and legend states that they taught the art of bone setting to human beings. There are also legends that Kappa will save a friendly human from drowning. So it seems like, once again, we can't generalize. You know, only a Sith deals in absolutes. I'm sure some Kappa are chill as heck, just like some people are chill as heck and some people are not. Moving on, we got sprites. A sprite is a supernatural entity in European mythology, but really it's all over the place, this guys. It's just different names. They are often depicted as fairy-like creatures or as an ethereal entity. The word sprite is derived from the Latin spiritus, spirit, via this French e-spirit. So all you Final Fantasy fans, Esper, e-spirit, see, they're sprites. Variations on the term include sprite and the Celtic spriggan. Oh yeah, you've heard that, spriggan. Up next, we got the water sprite, also called a water fairy. It's a general term for an elemental spirit associated with water. According to the alchemist Pericles, water sprites are said to be able to breathe water or air and sometimes can fly. These creatures exist in the mythology of various groups. Ancient Greeks knew water nymphs in several types, such as naiads or naiads, which were divine entities that tended to be fixed in one place. That's interesting. That reminds me of fairy fountains in Zelda. And so differed from gods or physical creatures. Slavic mythology knows them as villas. Villas? Villas. Yeah, there's a Paracelsus, this guy, whatever. He shows up in our second presentation as well. This guy knows some dark stuff. These alchemists, they know about a lot of dark black magic kind of stuff. I notice. I don't see a lot of the good stuff being documented. It's always really dark ritual kind of stuff. And you guys will see tomorrow on the next presentation. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, but it will be soon. Anyways, up next we got the goblin. Now, goblin is a monstrous creature that appears in the folklore of multiple European cultures, first attested in stories from the Middle Ages. They are ascribed various and conflicting abilities, temperaments, and appearances depending on the story and country of origin. They are almost always small and grotesque, mischievous and outright malicious, greedy, especially for gold and jewelry. Sounds like the leprechaun. The leprechaun. It's gonna be pots of gold. Leprechaun in the Hood's probably my favorite one. They often have magical abilities similar to a fairy or demon. Similar creatures include brownies, dwarfs, duendes, gnomes, imps, and kobolds. Yeah, like you think these things aren't scary because they're little? Shoot. You don't gotta be that big to stab someone, fool. Look at that. These things creep up on you in the woods all of a sudden. They're armed. Shoot. Scary enough for me. The redcap, or powrie, is a type of malevolent, murderous goblin found in border folklore. Border folklore. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up what that is specifically. That sounds new to me. Okay, border folklore. Okay. He is said to inhabit ruined castles along the Anglo-Scottish border. Oh, okay, Scottish, okay. Especially those that were the scenes of tyranny or wicked deeds, and is known for soaking his cap in the blood of his victims. He is also known as Red Comb and Bloody Cap. Redcap is depicted as a short, thick-set old elf with long, prominent teeth, skinny fingers armed with talons like eagles, large eyes of a fiery red color, bristly hair streaming down his shoulders, iron boots, a pike staff in his left hand, and a red cap on his head. When travelers take refuge in his lair, he flings huge stones at them, and if he kills them, he soaks his cap in their blood, giving it a crimson hue. He is unaffected by human strength, but can be driven away by words of scripture or by the brandishing of a crucifix, which cause him to utter a dismal yell and vanish in flames, leaving behind a large tooth. Random, okay. Wonder what the large tooth is all about, huh? Maybe it's the product of a curse in the first place, huh? Or maybe after being incinerated by the holy flames or whatever caused it, all that was left was a big tooth? One big tooth? Yeah, that kind of makes me want to call this one more like a demon and less like a species, you know? But I was thinking these things are more like just like pissed off gnomes or something, but it sounds demonic. Unless gnomes have been demonic this whole time, I had a feeling. Hobgoblins seem to be small, hairy little men who, like their close relatives, the brownies, are often found within human dwellings. Okay, so like the borrowers, Arietti, things like that. Doing odd jobs around the house while the family is asleep. Such chores are typically small tasks like dusting and ironing. Often, the only compensation necessary in return for these is food. Shoot, I'll take that. Clean my place, I'll get you some food. Yikes, man. I'll bet they could get into all those little areas you can't clean and eat yourself either. Yeah. While brownies are more peaceful creatures, hobgoblins are more fond of practical jokes. Oh, okay, so they troll. They like to troll. They also seem to be able to shapeshift, as seen in one of Puck's monologues. Gosh, is anything not a shapeshifter? In A Midsummer Night's Dream. Like other fey folk, hobgoblins are easily annoyed. They can be mischievous, frightening, and even dangerous. Attempts to give them clothing will often banish them forever, though whether they are offended by such gifts or are simply too proud to work in new clothes differs from teller to teller. Okay. If you guys are Harry Potter fans, you know, the elves, if they're offered clothing, it breaks their slavery bond to the whatever family owns them or whatever. But in this actual lore, it seems like it banishes them. Okay, forever. Okay. That must be where she got that from. Yeah, what do you guys think? There's a lot of accounts of little people. They even find little skeletons and stuff, and they're not kids. They find little villages of little pygmy people. Look it up. It's a trip. Here's a Alaskan, what I would call describe as Sasquatch, but this is bigger. We got the Urayuli. I think I'm pronouncing that right. This thing's scary as hell, but I'm pretty sure they're friendly to people, but I'm sure if you piss it off, you know. Urayuli, or hairy men, are a mythical race of creatures that live in the woodland areas of southwestern Alaska. It's awfully specific for a mythical creature, but stories of the Urayuli describe them as standing 10 feet tall, with long shaggy fur and luminescent eyes. Oh, that thing would be scary, man. They are said to emit a high-pitched cry resembling that of a loon. Their long, lanky arms have been described as reaching down to their ankles. Rumored to live in the forest near the area of Lake Liamna, the Urayuli are said to be peaceful creatures, unlike the Kushtaka of southeastern Alaska. Oh, okay, so they got a more violent cousin hanging around or something. Kushtaka. It is said the Urayuli are transformed children who become lost in the woods at night. It's possible that this tale was started to keep children indoors at night. Now, guys, I'm just going to say this. I study a lot of this kind of stuff, and I notice a common theme is but this is more than likely just a story to scare kids, because everything apparently was a story just to scare kids, so I'm not buying it, but yeah, there it is. There's the Urayuli, Alaska. Wow. Like a super big looking Sasquatch. A lot of variations on the Sasquatch. I've heard so many different theories. They're Nephilim, they're apes, they're spirits. I've heard ones that they're like cursed Native Americans. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff, different things, and I couldn't tell you. But these seem different. These seem more like spirits, if you ask me. Because I mean, really, something that big, you have to eat the whole forest to even stay alive. I mean, really, right? So it would have to be some kind of spirit or something. Because just, in my opinion, biologically speaking, would there be any deer left? Think about it. That thing was 20-foot tall, giant ape thing, all muscular and stuff. Yeah, the whole forest would be purged. They'd have to eat everything. So maybe it once existed, or I'm thinking more supernatural though with this one. But these ones are friendly, so I don't know. You guys tell me. Up next, the Kushtaka just mentioned, the Otterman. The Kushtaka, land Otterman, are mythical shape-shifting creatures found in the folklore of the Tlingit peoples of the Pacific Northwest coast of North America. They are similar to the Watsa of the Tasmanian people, Natina of the Danaika Native Americans, I'm sorry guys, of South Central Alaska, and the Urayuli of Western Alaska. See, guys, if you ask me, this looks like the Kappa too. And this is supposed to be Kushtaka, but it looks Kappa to me, which is also described as an otter shapeshifter. Physically, Kushtaka are shapeshifters capable of assuming human form, the form of an otter, and potentially other forms. In some accounts, a Kushtaka is able to assume the form of any species of otter, in others only one. Accounts of their behavior seem to conflict with one another. In some stories, Kushtaka are cruel creatures who take delight in tricking poor Tlingit sailors to their deaths. In others, they are friendly and helpful, frequently saving the lost from the death by freezing. Sounds like the Kappa again, guys. They go from being mischievous and friendly to murdering people, so I don't know. Sounds similar to me. In many stories, the Kushtaka save the lost individual by distracting them with curiously otter-like illusions of their family and friends as they transform their subject into a fellow Kushtaka, thus allowing him to survive in the cold. Naturally, this is counted as a mixed blessing. However, Kushtaka legends are not always pleasant. In some legends, it is said the Kushtaka will imitate the cries of a baby or the screams of a woman to lure victims to the river. Once there, the Kushtaka either kills the person and tears them to shreds or will turn them into another Kushtaka. Wow, I wonder why it's either tear them to shreds or transform them into one of their own. Is it like, do they want food? Does it want to transform you so it can mate with you or something? What's the intent for transforming instead of eating or tearing apart? I wonder. Yeah, that's interesting. Tell me what you guys think. Legends have it Kushtaka can be warded off through copper, urine, dogs, and in some stories fire. Since the Kushtaka mainly prey on small children, it has been thought that It was used by Tlingit mothers to keep their children from wandering close to the ocean by themselves. So there you go, guys. It's just something mothers tell their kids to keep them away from. What is it now? River. See, that's all. See. Get used to that, guys. Every time it's in the information, I'm going to put it there too, just so you guys can realize. See, that every tale is just allegedly people trying to scare their kids. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a second. It is also said that the Kushtaka emit a high-pitched three-part whistle in the pattern of low, high, low. All right, last but certainly not least, we got the Dullahan, the headless horseman, Irish folklore. He is depicted as a headless rider on a black horse who carries his own head held high in his hand. Usually the Dullahan is male, but there are some female versions. It is said to be the embodiment of the Celtic god Crom Dubh. The mouth is usually in a hideous grin that touches both sides of his head. Its eyes are constantly moving about and can see across the countryside even during the darkest nights. The flesh of his head is said to have the color and consistency of moldy cheese. Okay. It's pretty specific. The Dullahan is believed to use the spine of a human corpse for a whip. Its wagon is adorned with funeral objects. It has candles and skulls to light the way. The spokes of the wheels are made from thigh bones, and the wagon's covering is made from a worm-chewed pale or dried human skin. Oh, okay. That's not a good way to make a wagon. The ancient Irish believed that where the Dullahan stops riding, a person is due to die. So it sounds more like an omen, huh, guys? The Dullahan calls out to the person's name. It sounds like a banshee, kind of. Banshee does the same thing, drawing away the souls of his victim, at which point the person immediately drops dead. The banshee doesn't do that, though. There are rumors that golden objects can force the Dullahan to disappear. Okay, so he doesn't like gold. Okay. Good to know. Wow, we breezed through that, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please leave a like and subscribe. I really do appreciate all of you. We got another Halloween presentation coming up, definitely before Halloween. Yeah, I'll let you guys know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you have any recommendations for another presentation you'd like me to cover, let me know. I listen, I read all your comments. I try to respond to everybody. God bless everybody. Have a good day.